Eddie?
Not a thing, thanks. I was just leaving you a note to yank my ass.
You mean you got a job?
Yeah, Ada put me to work. Nah, it's not like what you think. She's still giving me the deep freeze.
Leslie.
Rita asked her to give me a chance.
Boy, I sure hope it works out, Eddie.
Well, I'll make it go, but I've got to. You know, I found out there's nothing soft about my daughter, and if I want her respect, I've got to earn it.
Well, you wouldn't want it any other way, would you?
No, I guess not. Well, I gotta get on over to local 307 and dust off my union card. Elliot, thanks for the moral support.
Oh, sure, forget it.
You know, the first 3 days are always the hardest. If you can survive them, you're in business. Say, you look like the kind of a fellow who would appreciate a good scotch.
Well, I do now and then.
Well, then come on down to the tavern some night. I'm gonna lay in a little private stock, you know, some of the real good stuff. Of course, when Ada's not watching.
Hey, Eddie, listen. When you used to tend bar down there on the waterfront, I bet you must have known just about everything that went on down there at the wharf, huh?
Oh, yeah, I'd say so. Why?
Well, this guy, John Chandler, he used that place quite a bit. He must have sort of like a headquarters, didn't he?
Forrest, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was one of the regulars while he was around, but, you know, there was nothing we could do about it. He never got out of line.
Did you ever see him with Leslie Harrington?
Les Harrington? Now, there's an unlikely combination.
Well, you know, Harrington used to drop into that bar now and then.
Yeah, but even then, Les was on the way up. And I doubt if he gave the time of day to a character like Forrest, or, Chandler, as you call him.
Well, think about it, Eddie. Did you ever see them together at all? You know, maybe having a drink or talking or anything at all like that?
Well, if I did, I can't remember. There were so many people in and out. Hey, wait a minute. Les was a pretty good poker player. We used to have a game every once in a while, you know? And I think Chandler sat in on a couple of them when he had the money. Why, what's it all add up to, anyway?
Well, you see, Harrington gave this guy Chandler a job down at the mill when he was laying off guys that had years of seniority on them. Also, that gun that Chandler used to escape with was registered at the Peyton mill. Now, I feel certain that Chandler and Harrington knew one another before Chandler came back into town.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to say that you think Harrington sprung Chandler?
I think something like that might very well have happened.
Oh, I can't believe that. What for?
Because I think Chandler might have had something on him. At least that's what it smells like.
Oh, yeah. Well, see ya.
Eddie, now, I know a lot of years have gone by, but Harrington and Chandler, I mean, think maybe a poker game after everybody else had left the bar, you know.
Well, when you run a tavern, you got a million things on your mind.
But think hard.
I did.
But it's important to me, Eddie.
You ought to be a prosecutor, pounding away at some character on the witness stand.
Look at Eddie. Did you ever see them come into the bar together, or did they ever leave the bar together?
Will you knock it off? I don't like to get cornered. I don't like to be pushed around.
Well, there's an awful lot more behind that grin, isn't there, Eddie, my friend?
I'm sorry, Elliot. You see, I couldn't help but think that maybe you were leaning on Les Harrington because of what he did to you, because he sent you up. I mean, you'd have a perfect right to.
No. That's all through it. Now, all I'm thinking about is Chandler and how he got out of jail and why. And I have a funny feeling it's not going to take me too long to find out why.
Well, I hope you're wrong, because Les is my kid's father-in-law now. And I don't think the family could handle 2 black sheep. See ya.
Good luck in your job, Eddie.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it.
Oh, that's probably Connie. She's going to be late. She dropped the rope necklace and the beads are all over the dining room floor or something.
Hello.
Norman?
Yeah, who's this?
This is your grandfather. Is Rodney there?
Is Rodney here? Oh, I'm hurt. He called my house and asked to speak to Rodney.
I've no time to listen to your banter. Is Rodney there?
Yeah, he's here. Just a minute. Hey, Rod.
Who is it?
What's his name?
Hello?
Rodney? I'm afraid something out of the ordinary has happened.
Grandfather, can't it wait? We're about to sit down to dinner.
Have you seen Betty today?
Betty? No, why?
Well, she hasn't been back this evening and left no message.
Well, there are a lot of places she could be.
I know, but it's not like her. She's never done anything like this before. I thought perhaps she might have been to see you.
She hasn't.
No, I wasn't exaggerating when I spoke to you yesterday. There is reason to be worried about Betty, and I am. If you hear from her, let me know at once, will you, Rodney?
All right.
Goodbye.
What's up?
Oh, nothing. Betty just hasn't come home yet, that's all.
So why call you?
Well, let's get back to the heavens here now. I didn't give you that telescope for nothing, but I want you to pay attention, all right? Now, it seemed that Zeus used to forget his godly status once in a while and occasionally socialize with Callista. When Zeus's wife got wind of it, she flew into a blood rage, and she changed this beautiful nymph into a bear. Now, Zeus was beside himself. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't change her back. So he took this bear and he flung her high up into the universe where he could look at her for the rest of his life, you see. And that's why we have this big bear constellation, Ursa Major, which is right in here. How do you like that? Huh?
Very good.
Just goes to show that you don't mess around with Hera. Right, Ron?
No.
You just don't mess around.
Well, listen, I think Constance is going to be late, so why don't we just go ahead and have dinner?
Yeah, why don't we? Norm, would you clear everything away?
Can I help you, Rita?
Set the table?
You're being a little rough, aren't you?
Well, you have to be rough or he doesn't understand. In case you haven't heard, Betty's married to somebody else, and I'd hate to find my brother with his head bashed in one night.
Okay, why don't we get it into the
Oh,
open,
no,
huh?
Ron, listen, forget
I don't
it,
want to
for
forget
heaven's
about
sake.
it. Listen, Grandfather's in a panic. He doesn't know where Betty is. Like maybe she stayed too long at the fair or something like that, huh?
Are Betty and Stephen having problems?
Well, look, they're just a young married couple. All
No,
married
seriously,
couples
seriously,
have
are
that.
Betty and Stephen having problems?
I don't know if they're having problems.
Well, you know what I think? I think that Stephen, our half-brother, is capable of doing anything at all.
Listen, what do I have to do to convince you that I'm not involved with Stephen's wife?
Just don't get any more phone calls. You're asking about Stephen's wife.
At last. Good evening, Stephen.
Good evening.
You might have let us know. We've already held back dinner 3/4 of an hour for you.
You should have gone ahead without me. I told you I'd be late.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We're ready now, aren't we?
I'll just be a minute. I have to clean up. Betty upstairs?
No, Betty's not here.
Where'd she go?
I've no idea. She didn't say anything. I thought perhaps she'd gone to meet you for a drink.
That would have been impossible. I was out of the Ernst estate till just an hour ago. Didn't my secretary leave word?
Yes, the secretary called.
And when did Betty leave?
Shortly afterwards, I believe.
Well, did she say anything?
No, she's not in the habit of reporting her errands to me.
Errands, it's 8:45. Now, where could she have gone?
I've no idea.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
You just want to find out if you've got somebody to run to in case Stephen leaves you.
I performed, I finished, I've earned my money.
Not yet. When their marriage is finished, you'll be finished.
Doesn't matter if I believe you or not. You went there anyway.
And I came back because I wanted to.
You came back to what?
To us, to you and me. And what we have is not lost.